What's up everybody, Dave here from iOgrapher. Today we're going to take a look at the new iPad mini and see how it works with the iOgrapher. Today on iOgrapher TV. All right, so we love it when Apple comes up with new things. However, sometimes they're a little stressful because do they fit or do they not fit into our iOgrapher cases? We are absolutely never told in advance about any specific specs or anything like that. So we open them as the public opens them, and we are either surprised or happy or whatever. In this case, I'm pleasantly surprised. And I'll get into that in a second, how it fits with our cases. But the thing's a powerhouse. I've been playing with it for a few days and I love this. The Mini was our first product. It was our Kickstarter. It started our whole company like 8 years ago when the Mini 1 came out. I always thought it was an amazing tool for the price, and they've really packed a powerhouse bunch into it. It's got an all new screen design. It's got the powerful Bionic A15 Bionic chip in it, which is so fast. I mean, it's mind-boggling how fast it is now and what we used to have to use in the dark old ages. It's super fast 5G connected ability. It's got Wi-Fi 6. It has support for the Apple Pencil. It also has Touch ID, which I'll show you. They tout it as having an all-day battery life. I haven't had a chance to test that yet, but I will. It's also USB-C, so they went with the USB-C connector, which I personally like because it's faster and there's a lot of other things you can connect to it. They have center stage on this, so if you are looking for that kind of panning ability with the front-facing camera, so if you're talking into it and then someone comes into screen next to you as maybe an interview or something, it'll widen the camera so that both of you are in the shot now. It's pretty amazing. It also has a 12 megapixel wide camera on the back, and after shooting with it for a few days, the footage is beautiful. It's got True Tone flash ability so that you can shoot in low white. It comes in gray, pink, purple, and white. And it has 64 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes as options, and starts at $499. Now, when you think about the 64 gigs and the 256 gigs, you're like, and some of you might go, wow, that's not too big. I mean, the new iPad Pros, or the new iPhone is coming out with a terabyte, right? So why is this one much smaller? Well, to be quite honest, when we first did our Kickstarter and we did the Mini, it was a 32 gigabyte Mini, and we were able to film entire football games with it. So don't be too turned off by the size of the hard drives. So let's open it up here. I've already opened it, of course. I couldn't wait. Beautiful new logo for it. And here's the beautiful Mini. And it's got this purple hue to it. I decided I had to go to purple. I'm a big Laker fan, so I love it as well. One thing I noticed off the top right here is that everything's really squared out now, which I think is pretty cool. We'll move this over to the side here. Here's a little area here that you would connect the pencil to, like that. So you have the Apple Pencil if you wanted to use it. Over here on this side is the Touch ID. You've got two speakers here, so right now if I go into here and I just touch it once, it should open. Nope, I don't want to turn Siri on. I think I'll use this one, that's right. I use my index finger. You can use any finger you want, but I use the index finger. And really simple to get going, really beautiful, dark and light mode, of course. You've got widgets you can put together, all kinds of stuff for making great things with it. Let's compare it with the older, this is the last generation Mini, and right away you'll see there's a significant, about a quarter inch there at least, missing. This one is a little bit thicker. It is all screen compared to, we've got all the white here, right? So they really condensed it a lot. It's the same width right here, but the height is different. Like I said, it's about a 1/4 inch or so off, maybe even a 1/2 inch. And this thing's just a beast. So what are the options of using this with iOgrapher cases? Well, as you can see, it's all off a little bit. So how do we make it work? Let's look at the back really quick. And you see now it's got this super big camera lens here as opposed to the small one before. Now that is a little bit of a problem, and we're going to show you what kind of problem it is. Mainly because of the size. And I've been talking with the Apple folks, engineers, and it's not really that big of a lens. This is like a protector for the lens that's usually about this size. And this just helps with a lot of things of, letting light in and all kinds of stuff like that. So we'll dive into that as well. Of course, the older Mini has a headphone jack. This one doesn't. This is Lightning, etc. So those are the biggest differences with it. Right away, I was a little nervous because I thought, how are we going to make this work? So there's a couple of ways that you can do that. One is one of our best sellers is our tablet holder for people that just want simple solutions to mount this onto a simple tripod and film with it. Maybe they want to add a microphone on top or something and add lenses. All of it's doable with our tablet holder here. This has been a savior for us because we've been getting ready to launch the new multi-pro case for the big iPads, and this thing expands really big. But it also condenses so that we can fit the new Mini in it. So here's one way you would do it. You would put the Mini in here. You could of course have it in a protective case. You tighten it up like that. It's ready to go onto a tripod. So that is all really good news. Now if I want to add lenses, I can get my lens clip. Maybe you have an older iOgrapher and you have older lenses and you still want to use them. You would just need to put the lens clip right on there and screw your lenses on. Just like that. And of course you can move it around to adjust it. And there you are, good to go. You can now put this onto your tripod. You can start filming your game or whatever you're trying to film. And then, like I said, on top here is an accessory shoe. So if you wanted to put a microphone, or maybe you're filming sports and you want to put the iOgrapher sun kit here. You can put the sun kit in here. It'll be a big umbrella so you can see and shoot. And there's lots of options with that. If you have any questions, reach out. So what if you want to go handheld and now use the iOgrapher case? Let me show you how it fits. So here's the iOgrapher case. And right away, if I just flip it over and I look at it, I can kind of tell this is way bigger than this. And if you look at the older ones, right, you can see that this lens is perfect size for this. So it fits really great. And we were actually pretty lucky. We got away with about 3 generations of iPad minis that they didn't change the form factor at all. But I'm telling you, I love this new one. It's thicker, but it's got way more guts in it, and the images are beautiful. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this into the iOgrapher case. First thing I wanna do is push it over towards the lens and the left side of the case, because that's gonna put this lens more centered. This side of it is fine. It's gonna be locked in and you're gonna be fine. Now it is thick and it does take a little bit of time to push it, so we're gonna be gentle with it. Maybe pull back the tab, just the tab here, so that we can have this come in. There we go. And I'm gonna push it all the way to the left. It doesn't rattle or move around. It's totally locked in here, but if I wanted to, I could of course push it over to the right or whatever, but I wanna keep it on the left-hand side. Okay, so a couple of things to look at is the Touch ID is hard to get to. So you might have to just use your code to get in. So I'll do my code really quick. And that's not a big deal. If, of course, you want to turn the iPad off, you can just press the button here, it'll turn it off. I'll do that just once. Yep, where am I? There we go. So now it's off again. And if I just touch the screen and push up, now I can just use my code, and I've got my code in there. Now the other thing is the lens. Let's flip it around and see what's happening. So right away, I can see that there's stuff obstructed here, right? This is not perfectly in place. I knew the lens area would be too small because this new lens is a lot bigger. However, if you look at it in the light, you can really actually see the lens in there, which is this size. It's this size of a lens, which is way in there. So I can see the lens is actually unobstructed and I can see it perfectly. It is not perfectly centered, so there are going to be some dark edges when using different lenses, but if you just pinch in a tiny bit, it will go away. And let me just open this up really quick and look into, whoop, wrong code. And we're going to look into the camera here, and if you can see at all, let's see, there's no light here, but there's no dark edges around here. This actually, and this is photo mode, and this is video mode. And I'm going to take it outside and show you how it looks, and how literally it looks perfectly fine. So I'll show you some before and afters of how it looks, and we'll test that out. Now, let me turn this off for a second. Now, one thing I would consider doing, and I'm going to do it, is, and we had to do this with some iPhone cases in the past, is to Dremel tool this. So these are on Amazon. You may have one at home, or maybe you have some sort of a file that you can use, anything that will just mess with the plastic. So this is my Dremel tool. I'm not going to do it with you right now, but basically what I would do is grab this. It's got a little file area here, and you would just go like, you know, make a little thing here to cut this out. Make it a little bit bigger. So that's some options for you to make the hole bigger. But like I said, out of the gate, it works perfect. It's fine. It's like some other cases we've had where it's slightly off-centered. So if you do need to use the lenses, you're going to see how you can, you might have to pinch in just a tiny bit. But let me take this outside. Let me shoot some before and after, and so you can see how it all works. Okay, we're outside in the backyard. I'm going to start the Apple camera here. And you can see this is the photo mode, and we have no problems whatsoever. And let me just turn this around really quick for you. This is with the lens looking like that. So it's a little bit obscured, right? But we don't see any problems with that whatsoever. So let's put it back. Let me tighten this up. Very hard to do with one hand. Okay, so now I see no fringes, nothing. This is photo mode. We're going to go into video mode. There's video mode, no edges whatsoever, so it works fine with the lens in there. If I go to 2x lens there, you don't see any problems whatsoever, which is very strange because, like I said, the lens is a little bit obscured, but it's not the lens, it's the lens cover. We're going to go back here, and there we go. And so the footage looks fine. Now, let's try it out with some lenses on it. Okay, now I've got the 2x telephoto lens on there, and I do see a tiny bit of blackness down here, a little edge. So I do see that on the 2x lens. What I'm going to do though is just pinch in a smidge, and that little edge goes away. And you still retain your beautiful image there. So it works fine with the 2x telephoto lens. Let's go back into photo mode now. Photo mode is because it's a telephoto, you're definitely going to have some edges, but I see them on all the sides here. Once again, if I just want to punch in a little bit there, all of them have gone away, and the image looks nice and crisp. And so this is with the 2x telephoto lens. Okay, so now we're looking at the wide angle lens, the iOgrapher wide angle lens, and we're in photo mode. I don't see any fringing at all. It looks like there's no problems whatsoever. Let's go into video mode now. And video mode, I don't see any dark edges on video mode as well. Let me see if I punch in a little bit. No, that's just part of the shade there. So I don't see anything there that's showing any kind of fringes. So the wide angle lens works great. Where you might get some dark edges is in the telephoto lens. Okay, I just wanted to show you really quick this inside. This is how I Dremeled this out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, if you just want to let the lens area, the entire casing and everything be seen. This is what I did with mine, and not a big deal. Of course, it's not as pretty as just this, but it's totally usable like that. Now, I will say, this, having it a little obscured like we showed before, wasn't a problem, as you can see in the footage. So I don't know that I would really do that. You might just be fine using it like that. I mean, you will be. So I don't know that this is really necessary. So one of the things I wanted to definitely show you once again is putting the Mini in and taking it out. Here it is. I have it all the way pushed as far as I can to the top there. And now, I usually just pop it right in, but this is super snug. So I'm gonna pull the tab back just a little bit, and there it popped right in. And now that I have it in, I push it over to the left so that I know it's centered. And now it's not gonna come out. Yes, we said the lens, the entire lens casing is a little bit obstructed right here, but I showed you how the footage looks and you do not see any problems at all. So the option is to do it like this, or grab a Dremel tool and core it out a little bit so you have more space, so that's all showing. And then once again, if I want to take this out, I'm going to turn it, I'm going to lift it to its top, pull the tab up, and it pops out really simply. So this is my new purple iPad mini. I love this guy. I'm going to be using this quite a bit. It's really shoots great footage. It's got a lot of other features. I'm going to use, this is the 64 gigabyte one. I really didn't need a bigger one for this because I'm going to be using it for live streaming as an extra camera, or just taking it around to shoot some great footage with. So I love it like that. If you're going to be shooting long events and things like that, you know, you can get away with it having the smaller one, but you need to offload the footage every time. So I would recommend getting the 256 if you're going to do things like that. But it's a great machine. Tell me what you think in the comments. This is our workflow to use the brand new iPad mini from Apple. Oh yeah, get purple and support the Lakers. Take care.